I'm taking apart a Stark battery, pulling the cells out. I'm towards the end of 400 of them. I got like 25, 30 left. And I just wanted to document this so if anybody's interested in taking one of these apart, how to do it. I'm using a tool. You can get them from Harbor Freight. These are Fender tools. They're plastic. It's got a nice wedge on it, so it wedges the batteries out. They're glued in the base. So you see these are all the shells of the Molicel batteries. You can see the detail here. Okay, P45Bs. And so you have to cut them off because they're glued into the base of the thing, so you have to cut the plastic off to get them to come loose. So what I do is I run a knife up the side of them to loosen the outer covering, and then you start working them out. Kind of brutal, but with the plastic it doesn't seem to hurt them any, and you just move them out a couple times, and you get them to wiggle until they're loose. And you get a lot of sparks on here. Don't worry about the sparks, because the little titties that are the fusible links are hanging all over the place. When I take them out, I cut them off and then clean them up. But they burn themselves up, so there's not going to be any permanent damage, I hope. I haven't yet, let's put it that way. So you get it so it's wiggling loose. The side ones are a little bit more difficult. Another tool from Harbor Freight is a pair of long nose pliers that are like tooth pullers. And so you get in here like this and you just wiggle them until they come out. But most of the times they come out without the shells on them. I didn't loosen this one up on it. As you can see, the bottom was stuck to the glue, and there's the blue stuff, which is the glue on the bottom. You take these off and you clean them up, because I'm going to put them into racks eventually. I put new shells on the outer edge of them, and I'll show you one of those before the end of this. They're new plastics, and you just to shrink them on there. Okay, and then I take a wire cutter and cut off the little wire tits that are hanging on here, if they haven't burned off already. And you'll get sparks on these things because the battery is charged, and they have, you saw one right there by accident, they have charge in them. So here's a box of them I've done so far. This is in the last 15 or 20 minutes. I'll probably finish this whole group up here. So I got this last one over here. I'll show you how I'm doing this one. The edge ones are a little bit more difficult, but you just wedge that in so it moves the cell over and breaks the glue on the bottom. Okay, and then I run the knife up the side to cut the vinyl covering, and then you take the knife and peel it off so it's kind of stuck on the back. When they put this in the rack, they have glue on the bottom and they have glue on the top, plastic structure on the top, and that's what you kind of have to hammer away. So once you get all this stuff loose and you start wiggling them back and forth just a little bit, and they'll pop right out of there. And very, very little damage to them. And I've built other batteries with them. You can see the bases are perfectly clean and shiny. There's no dents in them, and there's a little dingy dent there. And the ones on the outer edges are a little more difficult and take a little dent, but it doesn't seem to affect the batteries at all. So now you see you got to be real careful in getting these wires out of here. There will be sparks, but try to. Okay, there's one on the edge, comes off. This other edge one comes off. And then there's two on the top here. I mean, you see a little spark there, because they are full of energy, stored electrons. So now I'm going to go down the middle here, and preliminarily, the plastic webbing, you have to get it broken loose. So I use a hard screwdriver in the softer areas, which is in the middle, and break them loose. Okay, I'm just pounding the plastic down is what I'm doing. Okay, and then just keep going across here. Be careful when you're doing this not to get the screwdriver into here, because you cross it over there, you get full battery current going through your screwdriver. And it'll probably hurt your screwdriver, but it could hurt the battery more. outer edges are pretty tough. So now that I've loosened the centers, now I go in here with this, and I'll take one of the center ones out because they come out easier. So you turn the use the fat wedge first, and you see the sparks, sparks all the time. And see how that just kind of wedges itself out? And you get it moving in a couple of directions, and move it back, and now it's loose, and it'll come out as soon as I cut the plastic off the side here. I hope you can see this. I hope there's enough light to see this well. Okay, so then we just wiggle it a little bit. Sometimes you have to pull it out and get the backside loosened up because it's stuck on there with the glue from the plastics. Okay, now it's all loose. And you can usually pull them out by hand, but if not, you get the old tooth extractor and pull the tooth out. And again, then you clean up the glue on the sides, so they'll, like I say, they'll fit into the racks. Because if you don't, the racks are really tight, so you want a really clean surface up here. But if you get a hold of one of these batteries, an old start battery that's been scrapped, as they call it, they want you to scrap them because it costs more to ship them back to their factory. Defective battery is dangerous. So they're floating around. It gives you 400 P45 cells and just a little bit of labor, and you got yourself a new battery.